Forgive the silly intro, I couldn't help myself. This is actually the Casualty. It's my Makita drill that I've had for a long time. We think this is between 13 and 15 years old, but we're not entirely sure. And it's been absolutely superb. It's been a fantastic drill. However, and I use it nearly every day. However, I'm not a heavy user, so if I was on a building site it wouldn't have lasted anywhere near as long as it has done in my little engineering workshop. So sadly it started to smoke. It's got a little hot. The case has been split for several years. When I dropped it when I was building the summer house, and I dropped it off the roof, for the summer house is 4.5 meters high, so 4.5 meters straight onto concrete. And all that happened was it split the case open at the back, and I couldn't be bothered to fix it. So apart from that, it's been a good drill. But she started to let the smoke out, pushing this auger through 400mm of birch ply. And if you know birch ply, you know it's pretty tough stuff. So this was going at a walking pace at the end, and smoke was pouring out the back. Although it still works, it's absolutely fine and dandy. It smells bad. The shellac is burning off the commutator, off the windings in the motor. So she's getting a little too close to dying for me. So I've taken steps, and we have a new prime mover. So this should be the replacement motor for this drill. I think it looks a little on the large size to fit in there, but won't know that until we take it to bits. So let's get into it. Right, so first up, get rid of the battery. They're still working really well considering their age. They're holding a charge quite well, and there's still a lot of power. So I'm more than happy with those. Right, so the drill, it's standard 2 Never been in it before. This will be interesting to have a look. I bought this many years ago to I was building a deck at the time, and its first job was putting 2,000 screws in a deck, so which it did really well, really quickly when it was new. Obviously it had more guts to it than it's got now. One there. Oh yeah, that's likely to be, just feeling that's likely to be broken in the battery, but we'll see. Come on. Right. Ooh. Right, screws away. Well, hey, we're in. Oh, there are the telltale signs that this has had some SMU well and truly through it. I don't know if you can see that. Look, that's the remains of the commutator brushes. Decent switch, and how's that come out? There we go. Oh, look at that. Right. Clamshells. Motor. Oh. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Never mind. It's got to come out anyway. Right. First up. Oh, blimey, where the hell did that bit go? First up, I think I'm going to just take these into the kitchen and clean them up. Did I say that was broke? Yeah, look. There you go. That's what a fall from 4.5 metres onto concrete has done. So I've got some, funny enough, I've got some glue that will do that on another project I'm working on with another video. This is just vicious, horrible bloody stuff. Listen to this. May cause skin irritation, may cause allergic skin reaction, may cause respiratory irritation, suspected of causing cancer, may cause damage to organs through prolonged exposure, keep away from heat, hot surfaces, sparks, open flames and other ignition sources, no smoking, avoid breathing fume, dust, gas, mist, vapours and spray, wash hands and exposed skin thoroughly after handling, use only outdoors or in a well ventilated area, contaminated work clothing should not be allowed out of the workplace, wear protective gloves, protective clothing, eye protection, collect spillage, store in a well ventilated place, keep cool, dispose of contents in accordance with local, state or national legislation. That is hideous stuff, but I have to say it's bloody good glue. Right, I'll go and do this and be back in a minute. Right, here's a pro tip. You're replacing something like this and you have a spare part. We've all made this mistake at some point in the past. Just make sure that the part you're putting in looks roughly the same as the one you're taking out. So let's just make a quick measurement. That's 46. That one's 46. Length, the case length is 65. The case length is 65. So I think I'm reasonably confident in saying that that is the right part. Is there a product code on it? Yeah, 629833. 629833. They're from different manufacturers, but that doesn't matter as long as they're to the same spec. Well, the other thing to make absolutely sure is that the ventilation holes line up. If they don't line up, then when you put it back in the case, you might find that it'll overheat because you can't, because the airflow, the outer moulding, the clamshell has vents to line up with these vents. So that's important. Right, so it clearly fell to bits. There's the Sun and Planet gears, the gearbox. Okay, I've got to take this off and fit it to the new one. There we go. Is that orientated in a particular way? Yes, it is. Okay, so there's the positive, the little red marks. So if I take that, whoops, straight off there and put that straight on there, those holes should line up, which they do. We're away, boys. There we go. we go. Right. Next up, we've got to get that. Oh yeah, cap's got to come off the back. There we go. Right. As our American colleagues would say, the soldering iron. Well, sodomy is something different from soldering. So this is a soldering iron. So let's get that nice and hot. Come on, out you go. Ow. Here we go. It's a common misconception that you don't need solder to desolder something. You do really, because it's the molten solder that passes the heat from one part to another. So you need a little bit of solder on your iron in order to get it to get the heat to flow. Come on. That is hot. Wow. Right, one old motor. Do you know, even after all these years, you won't be able to see this. It's really too tricky to. Might be able to get a camera in there. Let's see if I can get you really close with this. Alright, you probably can't see, but right in the bottom, the brushes, there's still tons of brushes left. Compared to this one, looking at that, after at least 13 years of use, we've managed to wear about 2mm of brush off. That's pretty impressive. You can start to see why she overheated though. Look at the crud. Yeah. Poor old girl. Anyway, history. Let's I'm going to get some of the crud off these parts before at some point I must get myself a new set of toothbrushes. Okay, so after a little bit of thinking, this is what I've come up with. I'm going to put a V-block in to hold that still. And squash the cable a bit, and we're nearly there. I think a little bit of heat as we solder that back on. I think the trick here is to make sure that you don't have any flyaway bits of wire. The last thing you really want is a short circuit in something like this. These batteries can supply massive amounts of power with a short circuit, and it's probably fused. I'm not going to bother taking it to bits, but you'll probably find that you blow a fuse in there, or you'll take this speed controller out. But yeah, there's a big flyback diode in there. what happens with motors once you've finished driving them and you disconnect the power and they're still spinning. As the magnetic field collapses in the windings, it turns from a motor into a generator, and you get a reverse voltage spike going the other. So if this positive line will become the negative line, and you get a big spike of volts, and that diode is there to is a one-way valve basically, and it'll dissipate that energy through the diode back into the motor, so it completes the circuit rather than generate a massive electrical spike which will destroy the speed controller that's in the switch. Anyway, lesson over. Let's see if I can get the old girl back together again. Looking positive. Oh, what I could do, just for kicks, let's connect it up. But hey, we're in business. Anyway, so that's one direction. That's the other direction. Spot on. We have a workout. The only thing left to do is put the old girl together again. Ah. Here we go. Right, that's the powertrain. And whoops, that's the gear select. So let's just lie that back in there. Okay. Right, that seems to work. Is it the right way around? Oh blast. This little spring is the detent for the drill, screw and hammer selector, and it fits down the front. There we go, that's snapped in position, that's there. Right, I've re-glued the tail piece in. Cables look like they go in the right place. No spare parts. Time to assemble the old girl. Right. Before we get too carried away, that's definitely forward, that's definitely reverse, and that's locked. Hurrah! And that goes around. Yeah. other thing is the gearbox. Buy that. Right. Right. Then you put the rest of the screws in. There we go. Right. One virtually new drill. Okay, I'm going to leave the last screw out because I'm going to put a tie wrap round there just to hold that all together whilst the glue completely cures. So I'll do that off camera. Thanks for watching. It's been that's been an experience. I have to say that it took longer than I thought, but it was definitely worth doing. It's a cracking drill, and yeah, we're back in business. Take care. Don't forget, if you like this sort of rubbish, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Take care, bye-bye. Excellent. Careful, careful. Woohoo! We're there. Better clean these before I put them back in the bathroom.